is the three-part integrity. That you were created to be steadfast. Oh my God, y'all gotta catch that. Steadfast. Because we're result driven, we don't have a moment, we don't have but a moment, as Apostle Kim said, that garden experience, it has to be fleeting. So you cannot focus on downfalls or pitfalls. It has to be quick. Because everything is result governed. We have to become familiar and grasp that reality, not the concept, but the reality that I am steadfast. See what I'm saying? Regardless of what you're dealing with, the situation, the circumstances that are coming up, understand that you are what? And that's the first part of the three-part integrity. Come on, y'all got to catch it. If you missed this, you missed it all. I'm telling you, I'm talking from heaven. I'm not talking from my notes right now. That's why the clock hasn't started. This is all from God. This is the first part of three-part integrity of the fourth man that's in and out of the furnace, right? That I am created to be steadfast. So be steadfast, okay? The second part of three-part integrity is to be immovable. Immovable. That is the second part of the three-part integrity, is to be immovable. You got to wake up knowing that you are immovable. An impenetrable force. A force to be reckoned with. Because we're in the hour later of what? R.E. results. Not theories. That dispensation of theories and manifestation, that's all over. We keep talking about Yom Kippur and all these other Jewish holidays. And I ain't disrespecting it, but I'm locking into the holidays that emanate from the kingdom. Yom Kippur don't come from the kingdom. I'm not diminishing the Jewish holidays. Do your thing. But you ain't going to intoxicate me with confusion with the Jewish holidays. And I'm not disrespecting that. That has its purpose. It has its legacy. But I also come from a legacy of the kingdom. And there ain't no Yom Kippur in the kingdom. But there is steadfast. The concept and the reality of being steadfast. So we'll grab Yom Kippur, don't even speak Latin, don't speak Hebrew, Arabic, all that other stuff, but you're fascinated with that. Unfascinate yourself with that and lock yourself into the kingdom. A three-part integrity, okay? That's a revelation knowledge word to penetrate and seal the consciousness of man and yourself in this hour. Three-part, man, I'm sorry, Cameron, man. I had to apologize to you. I'm in the spirit on the Lord's day.
Cameraman guy.
And the third path, steadfast first. Second is, and the third one, you got it, but don't miss this because Satan is crafty. How? Because if you don't put always, you're going to sometime. You're going to be intermittent. Always, I'm always abounding. Yes, in everything that we approach, that we're always abounding. Regardless of the situation, you're steadfast, unmovable, and always abounding. And we're in an hour that we're result driven. We're in a dimension, in a dispensation of results, right? That's why I say I can't lock in the Yom Kippur. Come on, what's the other Jewish holiday?
Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur, yes. Rosh Hashanah. We get fascinated with them. But I'm telling you, get locked in to these. This is what God is emanating from heaven today. Fourth man with three-part integrity. We're in an hour. Go ahead and start the clock. We're in an hour right now that we have to embrace. Not the concept, but the reality that is all about results. Start to repurpose yourself to a place where it's results. Start to anticipate and expect results in everything that you do, that you set your mind to, that you touch, that you get involved with, right? That you endeavor to do. See the results. Know that it is going to have results. We're out of that season. We're out of that season. I'm telling you guys. It is God laying it out before us. We have now entered into a season of results. And if you miss that time of movement, you just missed it. Because you're going to be feeding and fanning dead things that don't live, because your mind is locked on dead things. When God said we're no longer in that dispensation, that we're in this dispensation of results. So calibrate your thinking, because we're going to talk about our brain and our heart, okay? Start to calibrate your brain. And I don't even know if I'm getting my word today. That it is calibrated with your heart. The problem is that our heart and our brain is not calibrated. They're not in syncopation. And that's what God is trying to get us now, to get our heart and our brain or our mind. When I say brain, I'm saying mind. Okay, let me get a little more spiritual and say mind. Our heart and our mind calibrated. That they're working like that. Okay. Generally, they're working like this. They're like ships passing in the night. At one point, they will pass together, but God's trying to get them to work together. And I thank you. I got more words I got to say, and I got to say this. And I think it was provoked out of our recapping. And I got to reiterate this because it's the second time it's come up. And I think you birthed this elder, Gianna. I think you provoked heaven. You provoke heaven with what's going on, and I need to respond with what God is saying. Jesus called himself Rabbi Rabboni, teacher. Therefore, we must be students. And God, because we're entering in a dispensation of results, it becomes imperative that there's always in place a teacher and a student that equals results. So if you can get that concept or that construct before us of what a lot of times we got student, but no teacher, and then it ends with no results. And a lot of times we got teachers, but no students, and still no results. And I believe that God loves Easter Bethel Christian Center and the gathering place, right, so much that he now implemented and almost set us up for success. Because the divine equation is, go ahead, help me out. Or teacher plus equal. So one more time, teacher plus student. So understand what constitutes a teacher. I don't have time to go into this. This is not even my word. This is straight from heaven. This is all from heaven. What constitutes a teacher? What constitutes a student? What constitutes results? I'll say that again because that's very important. Because I believe that we are able to mimic things, but we can't articulate things. So I can mimic what a teacher is. But if I ask you to give me the 5 or 7 points that's associated with the credentials and accreditation of a teacher, then we can't expound on that. So we can just say a teacher, a student. You know, what are the 7 points that accreditates a student? Man, this is deep right here, man. This is all from God. This is in my nose. This is straight from heaven. And what accreditates the results? And it goes back to Giananda, Elder Giananda, in whatever God taught the pastor, I call him pastor, you pastor too. You can call me pastor. I'm an elder. You can call me elder too. I'm an elder too. I'm a pastor. And when we call me Rumsey, I would prefer Rumsey. You call me James. I'm not gonna be mad. But nevertheless, I digress. But Apostle Kim, I believe you instituted that, right? Right? Help me, I'm kind of blind. You're going to have to talk to me. I can't see. Yes. Thank you. Instituted that we're going to now have a recap, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
I believe that's part of the initiation of getting us back familiar with being students.
Mm.
Because we've been lulled asleep because of preaching.
Right, right.
And now God's getting us back to being students again. So why would he do that? Because we're entering into a dispensation of results. And the results is a byproduct of a student. A student is a byproduct of a teacher. So you got teacher, student, results. So I say to elder, and I say to the church, based off what Doctor taught us last week, you're on the path. And you have us on the path. You're kind of like the Jewish people that was assigned, watch this, a sign and a sign. Oh, y'all gonna catch that. Assigned and a sign to lead a people to a destination and purpose.
Mm.
And because of that, Easter Bethel, it's going to be an assault against the church and against you guys to prevent the results by eliminating the student, by taking you away from recapping. She talked about the moment it was erected and the concept grasped, they started to pour dirt in. Immediately, I'm telling you right now, they're starting to pour dirt in the fact that you're recapping. And you know how I knew it? Because I got overly excited. Why would I get overly excited? Because I'm a student. Any student that's not into entertainment is excited about getting taught. So you want to capture me? Start teaching. But there's a benefit. Man, I ain't gonna get to do this. There's a benefit to being a student.
Yes.
Come on, what's the benefit? It's in the equation. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Results.
Yeah.
Every student, based on due diligence and steadfastness, experience the dimension of results. It is the non-students or the wayward students that are void of results. Now they have a tendency to pray. They're praying for results that have basically been given to them.
Yeah.
If you follow the blueprint.
Yeah.
So our disobedience lulls us out of results, so we now have a tendency to start praying now.
Mm.
But the concept and the construct has been presented before us, right?
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So I just want us, Easter Bethel and Monday night prayer, is to lift the recap. Elder G. Line, professor, on the altar, so that we can stay in synchronization and in the pursuit and in the path of the promise What's the promised results? So the enemy understands this, so he doesn't want you to receive results or be on the path to receiving results. So he begins to run interference. Oh, come on, come on.
Got it.
He'll start immediately. The thing that puzzles me, Professor, and it agitates me, is that he in his awareness sometimes outweighs our awareness, and that bothers me. I just believe as Christians that we should be more in tune than Satan is in tune. How is it that Satan can see our future better than us? And he plots and plans based off him seeing your future. We don't plan according to our future. We don't plan for results. If you're going on vacation, I ain't saying no name. I'll change the name to protect the innocent. I've heard of people getting ready to go to Bahamas, and 3 months out, they start planning, purchasing, prepping. But when it comes to the results in the kingdom, there is no preparation.
None.
You have not planned for results. But the enemy has a dossier concerning you and begin to strategically plan to wipe you out. And that's what I'm saying today. Don't let them kill this one. My mother would say, don't let Satan get the best of my children. My mother prayed. That's what prayer. We didn't grow up in church. My mother was in the church. She became devout according to their grandmother. Their grandmother introduced my mother to God. And my mother, her later years, was on fire for God. On fire for God. But as a kid, we didn't go to no church. But I can hear her say, as she's washing dishes, don't let the devil get the best of my children. It's the battle. Don't let the devil get the best of what God is doing when he begins to implement something so strategic as putting her up here. He's going to try to attack everything to get her off of here, to eliminate us as students. I got 16 more minutes. So I'm going to try to give you some of the word that I got. I thank you. Thank you, babe. I just got to go back to the equation one more time. So, and you have to do your due diligence. So, because we're entering into the dispensation. And let me be careful because I miss it too. I'm not God. And I err. So now I want to be clear. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Because we talked about the 3-part integrity, right? But I want to say, I keep saying we're entering and we could be in. So I'm going to let y'all know. Let me put that caveat out there. We may be in and I'm just missing it. Because I keep saying we're entering. And I can feel the Holy Spirit tugging me. Because I feel like I'm saying something wrong. I believe that we're in there. And I keep saying we're entering in it. So I got to correct myself. I can't sit here and be prideful and carry on the ego. Say ego. And say that's etching out God. So I don't want to etch out God no more because of my ego. Afraid to be ashamed or afraid to or embarrassed to say that I missed it. I should have said we're in the dispensation of results rather than entering. It's a big difference, right? Yeah. If I say you're in it and entering, right? So you can prepare accordingly. So that I believe that's on you guys to make sure you confer with God to make sure where we're strategically, our geolocations as it relates to results. I know that we're either entering it or we're actually in the midst of it. And it's important because you're going to know how to plan, right? Because if you're in it, you're going to plan different than you're entering it, right? Right? Because if you, okay, man, I gotta get to this work. But I gotta say this part. Okay, so the equation, the divine equation that God gave us, as I said, there wasn't. I got my notes from this week, and what I'm saying or what's been said has nothing to do with my notes. So I want to let you guys know that as God just spontaneously wanted to tell us something about the season that we're in. Thank you, Holy Spirit, that we're not entering, that we're already in. And so we're going to prepare accordingly, and we're going to adjust ourselves, not that we're entering, but that we're in. There's a difference between a woman carrying a baby and a woman carrying a baby. Her walk is different than when she carried the baby and when she carries the baby, okay? So I just want to say that's what happened to. So I want to make sure, because it's something, the enemy is crafty. Remember I said he's going to run interference, right? And so this is what God said, that half of people, the enemy is crafty because what he wants to do, even as he's trying to do it with me up here, is to get half of the people to believe that he does not exist. The other side, he wants to manipulate that you may award him accordingly. Ooh. Catch that. So half of the people he gets, and he lulls them asleep to make him or them think that he does not exist. And the other half he gets, or he manipulates to get them to endorse him. So he got half people believing he don't exist, and then he uses the other half, he gets to endorse him.
Wow.
And we do a good job of endorsing Satan.
Yeah.
I'm an ego again. I'm gonna take ego. Move my ego. I'm killing my ego.
It's true.
Because it edges God out. I'm gonna tell you, ego will edge God out, or etch him out, or scratch him out. So get rid of the ego. So, but what I'm coming to understand is that in Satan being crafty, he's yet very strategic. So he takes a portion of people and he does that with it. And he grabs another portion and he does this with it. And he does not discriminate. He just needs someone to use. And he does a good job of using the Christians. And I just got to be honest, and we do a good job of endorsing him. And I remember I was thinking about the title the guy gave. He says, laying and lying with the devil while we justify the lie. We don't only lay with him, we lie with him as we justify that lie. Because we are familiar with mimicking, and no one's done a litmus test on what we're mimicking, and we don't know the origin is a lie. 75% of what we're mimicking is a lie. But we have not done the due diligence to discover it or to investigate it because it came from the church. It came from my pastor. It came from my grandma. But you never trace the origins. And the origins lie in the lie. So when we start doing our sons always do due diligence. See, I know at my job, we don't get to just submit anything. So pretty much at my job, I get to do a report and I get to hand it to you, you hand it to that person, 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 that person. Then it comes back to me and it's all destroyed. Because all the errors have been extracted. And now I can write it accordingly. Then when I take it back again, it's less and less, and to the point that it's pure. Some people don't want to do that. We just want to write the first report and submit it. That's what we do as Christians. And I'm not saying that we probably do it more not active but passive, not intentionally, but nevertheless. What they say, my people are destroyed for what? The lack of knowledge becomes evident when there is no due diligence. Thank you, Deacon. See, what the thing that God had to get me on is he says, look, I understand that you're filled to capacity with knowledge. But here's the one got me. He said, it's not my knowledge. Therefore, we got a problem. God said to me, Houston, we got a problem. No, he didn't say that. God knows. But he did say, nevertheless, he said, we got a problem. Because you're filled to capacity with knowledge, it's just not my knowledge. So he said, this is what we're going to do. I seen my wife do it. She bought a piece of furniture and it's gorgeous too. And it underneath the line was brilliance. So she got this furniture and she saw beyond the facade. I couldn't see it. I'm like, why is she buying this crap? I think Gianna said she good in the area, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here, I'm puzzled. Why in this? Because she's able to see beyond the line. There's brilliance, but the brilliance has been covered up. Distorted, not destroyed, just distorted. See, our brilliance isn't destroyed. Thank you, daughter. It's just distorted. It's distorted with tradition. It's distorted with church. It's distorted with grandma. It's distorted with grandpa. It's distorted with the teachings and the institution and Republicans and Democrats and Congress and everybody's giving us stuff.
Right.
And all of it's lies. Do you know that politics is predicated off lie? They have to offer you a lie to capture your attention. Read my lips. No more taxes. Everyone else will come up with one. Don't they? You know you were lying when you said it. But we embrace the lie. So what my wife was sharing with me in my 6 minutes, I guess I'll preach this next week. In my 6 minutes, I want to really just focus in on that. I'm going to give you more words and then we're going home. Because I'm not going to get to that message. But I want you to capture this. She brought it. I had to do this task to go get it. Go get it. And I don't know how she got these people, but that's part of the due diligence.
Right.
So she strategically hired people to come and pick the article up. Y'all gonna catch that. And to strip it down. And then bring it back to its original state.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
And make it radiant and then present it. Oh, y'all gonna catch that. Because we're being presented as a fraud. And the church is the front. And Satan continues to run interference. And so the true essence and the importance and the value of us is never really appreciated because it's hidden until we die. And then our true essence comes, but we're in another different. So we do the earth no good. But it comes incumbent upon us now, that's why I'm saying going back to the equation, the divine equation God gave us, which was teacher, right? Plus student equal results. And we're now in a dispensation of results. This way you should be overly excited. I watch them at football games, basketball, they get so excited because they team. But God is saying everything that you put your hand to, because of your due diligence, in us identifying the character and the origin and the history and the purpose of Satan, we're now entering into a time where we're effective. Effective based off of results. How do you know you're effective? Because of the results. How do I know you're not effective? Because there's no results. You say you can cook. I eat your food. I get gangrene. That's the results. My teeth start itching. You said you can cook. But we now have to get, this is what God was saying in result. He said, with your mouth you praise me, but your heart is so far from me.
Right.
You do have a form of godliness. Boy, I did see you put that shake and bake on that chicken. You did. I gotta admit, I watched you put that shake and bake on that chicken. But everything else was missing. The oven should have been on 420, you had it on 120. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about food, symbolic of reality. You see what I'm saying? So now we have to assess the thing. So now I got to go back to square one and remember what God said to me. I know you have knowledge, but it's not my knowledge. And I can't endorse what ain't mine. You're asking me to endorse what's not mine. That's why they have pregnancy tests. What they think of more permanent. And you are the father. Or you ain't the father, you start dancing. See, I got to know if you are the author of this. I need to know, are you the author of this mess? God said, I'm not the author of that. Y'all trying to put me on that. God said, I am not the father. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Y'all scholars up in here, did not Jesus say you are of your father, the devil? I ain't the father of that. You saying I'm the father of that. I got 1 minute. God is saying, I'm not the father of that. That's really what God had a Maury Povich moment.
Oh, got it.
And say, I'm not the father of that. That's your church. That's your pastor. That's them elders and them deacons. That ain't me. That's your grandma. That ain't me. We don't want to be real. We trying to get God to endorse and validate and sign off on something that ain't his. He's not going to do it.
No.
And that Maury Povich moment is when God said, you have a form of godliness. I know you talk in tongues and you do it good. That's the institution, not the constitution. I know you pray good. You know some eloquent words. But I'm looking for authenticity.
Hallelujah.
Yep.
I'm not looking to be entertained.
Read.
I'm looking to be ingrained. It's a big difference. And this is where God is challenging us as I close, so let me just do this real quick, because I got to just get that. So begin to go back, say back to the basics, and do my due diligence. In court, they call it discovery. Before you go to trial, you go to discovery.
Right.
Oh, y'all gonna catch that. Oh, y'all gonna catch that. See, we don't do discovery in the church and in the spirit. Then that's the first thing we should do. Before you move any further, go through discovery. What is discovery? It's discovery. You got to discover the frauds, the fake, what's not authentic. Because look, as Christians, our first move should be to go through discovery. If you say you're a teacher, then let me go through discovery on you. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. They don't want you to go through discovery because you're going to find out the pastor fraud. The church is a fraud. But if you go through discovery, guess what's going to happen? You're going to discover some things. If you don't go through discovery, guess what? You're never going to discover the thing that's set up to hurt and harm you. To prevent you from entering into that dimension of results. Because we didn't go through discovery. So guess what? We're going to go through discovery as a teacher. That's why I say to you, if I'm a teacher, guess what? It's based off heaven. If God does not endorse me as a teacher, it may not be what you classify as a teacher, but lean not to your, but acknowledge God. So even though I'm not a teacher according to you, but I'm a teacher according to God. That's all that matters. It shouldn't matter. Well, you may like it a certain way, but what matters is what God said. I don't like the way he punctuates. So, God loves the way I punctuate. You see, I'm trying to get you to catch something. Don't you be the judge of it. Let God be the judge of it. And I give everybody at Easter Bethel permission to evaluate and take me through discovery. So you will know either God will say, yeah, he is, or no, he's not. Because I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to tell you, you don't have to do it with me, but I'm doing it with you. So you might as well do it with me. But see, we do it not with the purpose of hurt harm. Right. You missed it then. Right. It is, when that's done, it is really to be transparent that we can now help promote and increase others. Okay. Amen. So as a teacher, you want to be able to what? Understand that there's a teacher in place and that God has called that person as a teacher. So as an individual, this can be, see what people don't realize, you and my sister said, and a lot of you guys are prophets in here. Kim's a prophet. I operate in the office of a prophet. I'm not a prophet. So therefore, let me help you out there. This table, because I was going to be short, so we didn't bring the pulpit in. I thought it would be short in here. So I said, don't get the pulpit because I'm going to be on in a few minutes. This represents the office of a prophet. Come here back. Come on up here. With that beautiful orange on. Looking all festive. Look that way. But don't just stand on some look. She is a prophet. I know that for a fact, and many of you guys know that. Watch it. This is the office of a prophet. Okay. She is the prophet. This is the office. They're one and the same. I'm not a prophet, but I step into the office. So I'm equal to her. Oh, y'all better catch it. Yes. So come here. But you're a prophet too. I can't hear. Anybody here not a prophet? Come on up here, Professor. Come on up here, God. We all prophets today. We ain't gotta be a prophet. All you gotta do is step into the arena in the office of a prophet. And all of us prophets. You see what I'm saying? Okay, thanks. Yeah. Now watch this. I'm gonna make it plain for you. You ever seen like in the Western, in the crisis come up and they don't have enough people to go form a posse?
Yeah.
Then that sheriff will say, I'm gonna deputize you.
Yeah.
Woo! That's all the office of a prophet. I've been deputized as a prophet. When I stand here, I'm deputized as a prophet. God sees me no different from her. One's called as a prophet, one operates in the office of a prophet. So this is what I'm saying, church. Do our due diligence and find out in discovery, are they teachers? Is this church a teaching, or is that church a teaching vessel? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't need emotions. Emotions are fleeting. I need authenticity. So in discovery, remember, that's the most important thing to a lawyer and to that plaintiff or that defendant. The most important moment is discovery, because that's going to tell you everything. You almost pretty much can know you're going to win or lose based off of discovery.
Right.
See, you're going to know if you're going to win or lose as we discover. Teaching students. And I got to do students real quick, and I'm stopping because I told Cameron 30 minutes. I'm out of time. You fine, Cameron, you good, man. I'm just teasing you. Cameron loves the Lord. I'm just teasing. He ain't trying to get out of here or nothing like that. He's a pastor. So he knows he has to be in the pastures. To be a pastor. So watch this, as a student, this is where it becomes important. Joseph, it becomes very important. As a student in discovery, the blueprint of the student is revealed. So as it's revealed, meaning it's no longer concealed,
Right.
I can come face to face with my identity as a student. I cannot just say student, but I can articulate what a student is. And even better, I can begin to execute in what I articulate. Nothing hurts me more if somebody can articulate something, but they can't walk in what they articulate. That's dangerous. You can articulate, but you can't walk in it. That's when the message I was going to tell y'all was about how Satan, he first seeks and then he considers. We consider and then we deceive, then we seek, and then we're in divorce court. Had you did it the right way, why do Satan do it the right way? And we do it backwards. He wants results. He gets us to do it backwards so he can release the curse. He said, God said, where you come from? Seeking, going to and fro, seeking. Then God asked him, have you considered? He didn't consider, then seek. That's what the church do. We do it backwards. We consider, and then we start seeking. You mean you marry him and you now just coming through discovery? You didn't know that? You didn't go through discovery? Because you should have discovered some stuff that he was going to kick you in the throat about 2 years ago. You ain't going to get me across the threshold and then drop me. I'm going to know your propensity to kick me before you drop me off the threshold. Oh, come on. We're going something. You see what I'm saying? Why is it important us to go through discovery? even when we're not dating, but courting. It's courting, not dating. Dating leads to sex. Courting leads to making love. Every time you have sex, something dies. Every time you make love, something thrives. I don't have sex, I make love. Keep having sex, that's called, it's self-gratification. Making love, guess who all involved? Heaven, God, forward mobility is all involved when you make love. So let me get the board words and I'm done. Oh, so we got student, right? So now understand what a student is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means, okay, so y'all just say you love me real quick because y'all about to get mad at me. Anybody, well, we pretty much have children and had children, right? And when you were raising your children in the 5th grade, 6th grade, you said make sure you got a pen and you got a notebook, right? And you were always sure to, as a mother, right, as a parent, to look in there and make sure they got a pen, paper, book, and notebook. Because that is what fortifies them as a student.
Amen.
That is the benchmark of success of a student. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that. So, okay. So as we begin to evaluate students, find out what constitutes the nomenclature of the student. Okay, so we want to be the best students. Why? So we can get the best results. I don't know about y'all, I love results. I like Cracker Jacks, but I like that when you get to the end of it. Woo! Woo! I see it. There's results down there. You see what I'm saying? So we want to also be teacher student. So let me give you the board words. Here's the board words, and we'll try. I'll do my best to preach because I didn't get to preach the word. The word God gave me that I prepared for this week. So I'll try. Hopefully, try to do it next week. I'm gonna close with this. I'm gonna give you the board words. So I like this part. So even it's going to go in your spirit, and it's going to run you down this weekend, even as you sleep in your strategic hours, which is 12:01. Say 12:01.
12:01
to 4:49. So remember that. That's the strategic hours between you and God, whether you're conscious or not. 12:01 to 4:49. That is God's strategic moment with you. And a lot of times we're sleeping on that time, aren't we? That's the norm is that we sleep. We know prophets don't sleep, so that's not a good thing. The prophets up all times of the night, but for none prophets. I'm sleeping good, but I come home. I ain't slept. I'm like, shoot, I'm out. I'm out. Can't be up all night. I'm out. Gone. God, I be looking at God, we about to do that thing. It's almost over. I'm gonna go out. That probably don't get to sleep. Thank God for prophet. But from 12:01, guys, to 4:49, thanks God, are the strategic hours, which means you don't really have to do nothing. You ever had those lawnmowers? They're called self. That means you don't have to. They push themselves. That's strategic hour. You don't have to do nothing. God's gonna do it. So just go on to sleep. And the reason I'm telling you that because I'm going to read you some words, and then God's going to visit you in your conscious and unconscious hour, or your consciousness or unconsciousness. If I'm saying that right, from 12:01 to 4:49, which are the strategic hours, whether you're conscious or unconscious, where God visits you. It's self-propelling. You don't have to have no pen and paper. You don't have to have no Bible. All you have to do is just go to sleep. In these words, God's going to meet you with. And I think it's 1, 2, 6, 7 words. And y'all say it with me, okay?
Mhm.
Heaven,
Heaven,
consider,
Consider
earth,
earth,
realm,
realm,
seek,
sea,
constitution, and
constitution,
institution.
and
I'm
institution.
gonna say it 2 more times and then I'm sitting down. Realm,
Realm,
heaven,
heaven,
consider,
consider
earth,
earth,
seek,
sea,
constitution,
constitution,
institution.
institution,
Last time. Institution,
institution,
realm,
realm,
constitution,
constitution,
seek,
sea,
heaven,
heaven,
consider,
consider
and earth.
earth.
Give God some praise.
What a powerful word. Hallelujah.